Yeah, careful with the slip in here. Yeah, wow, that's full-blown ice.
Tighter than Tom Bombadil's hat.
He said that's tighter than Tom Bombadil's hat. Yeah, the ice buildup. Pretty cool. About 30 some odd degrees. We're not even fishing today. Nice and frozen. This is new. It's really cool with all the buildup of ice along all of the rocks. Might get some cool long exposures of that stream kind of running down. I've been out here before. Actually, it was last winter trying to do this, and the shots were okay, but nothing amazing. Let's see what we can get today. Although it's a cold day, I'm excited to spend some quality time with my dad. We've been itching to get outside for quite some time now, even if just for a day. My hope for today is to get some cool shots of my dad on stream, try a little bit of product photography, some cool long exposures of the stream itself with all of the ice, and also try my hand at a reel that I saw recently where people are taking their gimbals out on stream and getting these really smooth, cool shots of the stream and just nature in general. So, see if I'm gonna put on a filter on the lens here and see if I can cut out a lot of light so we can get a long exposure going, and hoping to get some cool contrast between the moving water, the rocks, but also the ice that is sort of building up around each of the rocks on the stream. So this is typically not something I'm very well versed in, so trying to get exposed to a little bit more. Good thing we wore waders because it is cold. What I didn't realize as I was taking these first sets of photos was that my filter was actually dirty. So it created this sort of foggy, super mist black vibe to these first photos, which isn't necessarily bad, but they do feel a little uncrisp. As I was hoping, the contrast between the sharp, cold, frozen ice around the edges compared to the movement of the water was so cool. I'm really happy with how most of these turned out.
Just a little word to the wise.
As I spent time taking photos, my dad read through Epictetus and pondered around in the stream behind. It's funny to think about who in their right mind would be out here in 30 degrees studying Stoicism. At the same time, it's kind of a reminder that no matter the conditions, these Stoic ideas are always relevant. I think it's no secret, but he's made quite an impact on my interest in Stoicism and leadership in general. So from the standpoint of product photography and practicing my skills as a photographer, I wanted to get some cool shots of my dad and really tell the story of what it felt to be out here in the cold with the ice on the stream, and put together sort of a nice carousel for social media to be able to share with people. And I think we got some nice shots put together.
Reminiscing about pushing up Eagle Creek on the North Carolina side of the Smokies. A little wider than this. About springtime, water was a little big. Not bad. But up in the trees, you could see where there had been high water at some point. And I came across a fleece like this, a green one. And it was just like in the trees, you could tell it had been carried down by the water. It's about head high. I picked that out, shoved it in my tow sack and took it back to camp, cleaned it up, looked at it. I wore that doggone fleece probably 10 years more before I lost it. And I guess the reason it wasn't that high speed, it wasn't nice as this one, but it was good. And the reason I kept it is because that darn thing had a story. And that story brought that thing in a tree to me at the side of Eagle Creek in the back country, all alone. I was a little chilly, but not that bad. It's not like I needed it, but that stayed with me for at least a decade because it had a story. Somebody owned it, somebody lost it. I hope they didn't get hurt in the matter. And I kept it because I wasn't going to get rid of that story. Whatever it was, somebody else probably has it now after all these years. Anyways, I don't know why I remembered that. These rhododendrons kind of bring back some of those old memories.
So there's this sort of ice buildup along this little mini waterfall here. It looks like a cloud in the foreground, and then the buildup of all the ice in the background. It's so cool, all the water moving through. Pretty happy with how this shot turned out.
For lunch, we busted out our sandwiches and summer sausages, and I always like to bring my stove, boil some water, and have a nice cup of joe halfway through the day, especially on a chilly day like this. Pops told me stories about his past. It was fun to reminisce on his childhood years, compare them to mine, the similarities and the differences. Just all around good father-son time.
I brought my gimbal with me. I have a, let me grab it here actually, but this is it. It's a DJI Ronin 3, and you know, there's a couple of folks out there that are making videos, reels and stuff like that, very kind of moody pieces where they're getting these crazy smooth shots down these really cool looking areas, and for me that's always the stream. So I wanted to kind of create a couple of reels, one or two in that similar style. So I brought this. We're gonna put the Sony on here and try and capture some really cool smooth footage, and you know, put together a cool little moody piece for Instagram, TikTok, stuff like that. So
One of the biggest challenges was actually trying to get a nice smooth push or pull shot.
it's harder than it looks.
On paper, it's not complicated, but the large slippery rocks along the bed of the stream made it pretty challenging, and I don't know why I thought it was going to be a piece of cake, but...
Dude, this water is freezing. Good night.
In the end, I opted for more simplified shots where I didn't have to move my feet as much, because it was really the only way to guarantee that I get a nice smooth shot. Here's the final reel we put together, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
I almost just watched my dad bust his butt down there. And I almost just busted my butt, so not good. I can't feel my legs. At least we're dry. Yeah, I think we're probably gonna pack it up for the day. We're already probably got another 30, 45 minutes left of light, and we still gotta hike back down to the truck. So we always like coming out here even if we're not fishing, just to spend time in the woods next to a stream. I mean, you really can't go wrong. So if you guys been thinking about going out just cause, this is your sign. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.